you, Daddy. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for adopting us. Thank you for calling us sons and daughters. Thank you for loving us, God. Thank you. Who am I that the highest King would welcome me? And I was lost, but he brought me in. Oh, his love for me. Oh, his love for me. Whom the Son sets free. Oh, it's free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. Free at last, he has ransomed me. His grace runs deep. While I was a slave to sin, Jesus died for me. Yes, he died for me. Whom the Son sets free. I know it's free indeed. I'm a child. Yes, I am. In my Father's house. Yes, there is a place for me. I'm a child. Yes, I am. Hallelujah. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. Sing with me. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me. You're not against me. I am. Sing it again. Say, I am chosen. The hand of the Most High is on my life. I am. You are not against me. I am who you say I am. I am who the Son sets free. Thank God I'm free. I'm a child of the Most High. I'm a child of the Most High. In my Father's house. Thank God you got room for me. I'm a child. Yes, I am. I don't care where you are today. I don't care what you're going through today. You're a child of the Most High. You're a child of the Most High. I don't care what they called you. I don't care what they said about you. I don't care what they think about you. Your Father's here and he says he loves you. Your Father's here and he says he cares about you. Your Father's here and he says, I have you covered. I have you covered. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. I will never Oh, it's free. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. That's who I am. I'm a child of God. I am not a label. I am not a label. I'm a child. I am not what they call me. My God, I'm a child of. Ooh. Sweet God, sweet God, sweet God. I'm a child. He calls me his child. He calls me his daughter. He calls me his beloved child. He calls me his favorite. He calls me. My God. He calls me.
You are my favorite. You are mine. You are my favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
You are mine.
Thank you, God. Thank you for calling me, God. Thank you for calling me, God. Thank you for calling me.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're a child of God. I'm here to tell you who you are today. I'm here to tell you who you are. That's who you are, friend. You are a child of God. You were made in his image, and you were made for his purpose. You were made on purpose for purpose. Oh, come on in here. So this day is on purpose for purpose. You were made on purpose for purpose, and God's going to use you today. So you came in here so I can remind you of who you are and whose you are. So as you go into the day, you can walk out who you are and be reminded of whose you are. Oh, let's go. We on a mission today. I got some good news. Hey! Everything.
Everything's gonna be okay. Gonna hear some good news today.
Come on, come on. Oh, my bad. What happened? Let's bring it back. Hey. Let's go.
Joy, pains, ups, downs are working all day.
Everything.
Everything's gonna be okay. Gonna hear some good news today.
Come on, come on.
Oh, joys, pains, ups, downs are working all day. Everything's gonna be okay.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son,
Everything's gonna be okay.
that whosoever will believe in him shall not perish but have
Everything's gonna be okay.
everlasting life.
Gonna hear some good news today.
Yo, turn my mic up. Y'all ain't see this coming.
Hey.
Get ready to catch this. Come to snatch your righteous mind, not your edges. God is the goal, and then there's the period. This thing is real. Whoop, child, we serious. Intentional, original. God is in control. Do it for your soul. Gotta let the whole world know. Ayo, ayo.
Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Gonna hear some good news today.
Yo, everything is gonna be okay. Let the people say God's gonna make a way. Everything's gonna be okay. Put it in the comments. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be okay. Go tell somebody. Uh-oh, I did that wrong. That's not what I wanted to do. I went live on Instagram on the wrong thing. Everything's gonna be okay, y'all. Tell somebody. Encourage somebody. Let them know what you're going through. God's gonna bring you through. Come on in here, somebody. What you're going through, God's going to bring you through. It's Wednesday. How y'all doing? It's Hunt Day. How y'all doing on this Wednesday? How you doing on this Wednesday? What are you thankful for this Wednesday? What are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? Tanya DeCure, my good friend, and Grace and John DeCure, they buried their father yesterday. And at the funeral, it was just he's a man of God, he's a prophet, great leader, but it just had you thinking, it just how much time do you have? Now, he was in his 80s, so he lived a full life and was just blessed. But as we sat there just reflecting and hearing about the years and years and years of investment and impact that he's had, I just couldn't help but think to myself, wow, Lord, how, number one, you just don't know how much time you have. And it helps you to think about what does it mean for me to be intentional about about the time I got. How do I leverage it? And I think the biggest thing is it goes back to what we were talking about yesterday. If if your time is not an endless supply, yo, you want to try to spend as much time with God and get a download from Him so that you might know, so that you might know what your assignment is. As a phrase now, when you do something really well, when you do something really, really well, the phrase is, oh, they understood the assignment. As a matter of fact, India, who's the works with the publisher of the book that I'm writing, or that I've written, that comes out March 8th. I turned in the first manuscript, and I'm real insecure about my writing. So I'm like, Lord, did this thing, Lord, did I get it right? And what she said to me is, she said, Albert, it was clear. You understood the assignment. So it's like a good compliment. It's like the latest phraseology. The two new common vernacular kind of slave phrases. One is oh, you were in your bag on that. Oh, you in your bag. So when you're in your bag, that means you're doing your thing. And when someone says you understood the assignment, that means you got it right. So that was a great compliment on the book. I understood the assignment. I guess sitting, celebrating someone who's transitioned on to God, I mean, I want to hear him say, Albert, you understood the assignment. That's what I want the Lord to say to me. Well done. You understood the assignment. You know what happens when we practice regularly coming into the presence of God? Can we just say clearly how sinful we all are? Can we just start there? Can we just start with how sinful we all are and how we have such a proclivity and a pull to just ratchetness? Can we just acknowledge that ratchetness comes natural? Watch this. Even for the goody two shoes, your ratchetness isn't the typical ratchetness. Your ratchetness is your self righteousness. So we got those of us, and it all depends on what area it's in. I can be self righteous, and I can be just downright ratchet and nasty, ridiculous, disgusted, terrible. You know what I mean? I can be all of it, and I don't have any qualms about that. I think I need to, in order for me to understand the assignment, I need to understand the threat. Hello, and here's somebody. I said, I think in order to understand the assignment, we have to understand the threat. And the threat is, I can go from righteous to ratchet in 0 to 60 seconds. I mean, I just really can. I really can. I really can. And some of y'all are my friends, and you know I can because you've been there with me. And the reason why I can say that so confidently, publicly, and not be embarrassed or ashamed is because I know y'all the same way. You just ain't gonna say it, but I say it. You ratchet, but at the same time, you also righteous. We a mess. We a puzzle, y'all. We something else. That's why. That's why we got to have our secret place, our cultivated place with God and in God, because you know what He does when we spend time with Him, when we pull away with Him. You know what He does? He reminds us of our righteous self. He helps us to snatch our righteous minds. He helps to remind us of who we are truly. And he pulls us to the assignment and delivers us from the threat. Can I say that again? He pulls us into the assignment and delivers us from the threat. You are one prayer away, one worship away from walking in your assignment and not falling victim to the threats, not falling prey to the threat. You could just have an idle mind and you thinking about calling somebody you shouldn't be calling. And instead of dialing that number, you go put on a little Maverick City. I want to be tried by fire, purified. Lord, take whatever you desire. Lord, here's my life. You immediately like, okay, I ain't calling her. Let me get myself together. I ain't calling him. Let me get myself together. I ain't gonna gossip. I ain't gonna go off on that tangent. Let me get myself together. Let me snatch my righteous mind. Come on in here, somebody. Am I in here by myself? Am I the only sinful wretch on air today? On today? Am I the only sinful, wretched one? You say something you're not supposed to say. What brings about that apology? Your flesh is going to be indignant and you're going to be arrogant. You'll be like, bump you. And the Lord is just saying, forgive. And you come in His presence. He says, no. You're not merciless. You're not graceless. You're not that jerk. That's not who you are. Let me remind you who you are. Let me remind you who you are. You're the righteousness of God. You are the beloved of God. So let me help you walk in your righteousness so that you don't act out in your ratchetness. Hello in here, somebody. Hello. So where am I going with this? I'm going to the throne room with this. I'm going to the secret place with this. I'm going to the holies of holies. I'm going to this place with God so that I might sit in His presence. Come on, Robert. She says, oh ratchet man that I am. Come on. All right, Demarius. We naturally got it. Naturally got that ratchetness. But God is saying, the more you sit in my presence, the more I will call you to, and you will feel propelled to your assignment. Understand the assignment, friends, in this season. And also understand the threat. The assignment is His presence. The threat is your flesh. The threat is your lust. The threat is that thing that would camouflage itself as one that can satisfy you. I don't want the pleasure of my flesh. I want the presence of His power. One sustains, the other just entertains. One satisfies, the other just creates thirst. It just leaves you thirsty. It's a thirst trap. Y'all in here with me? Love you, Tanya. Good to see you. Praying for you. I don't want the pleasure of my flesh. I want the presence of his power. One sustains, the other entertains. The pleasure of my flesh is just going to entertain me, but it won't sustain me. It won't keep me. It won't keep me. And you wonder why you not being kept. Because you'll never be, because where are you? Where are you? I want the power. I want the presence of his power, not the pleasure of my flesh. One sustains, the other entertains. So in this season, are you being sustained by his presence, or are you being entertained by your flesh? Where are you in this season? I need you to come on, Cletus. Come on, Cletus. Come on, Cletus. I need you to come on in his presence. So what happens when we spend intentional time with God and when you develop a rhythm, he just reminds you who you are. He just reminds you who you are. So when you get out here in these streets, you won't forget, you won't get lost, and you won't find yourself showing up in your flesh, but you get a chance to show up in his righteousness. It's the difference between you showing up in your wretchedness and your righteousness. And if you're anything like me, it all depends on the day. It could go either way. So find your secret place. Build your secret place. Make a regular rhythm to get in the presence of God so that you might be reminded who you are. So that you're not making decisions outside of who you are. You're not making commitments outside of who you are. You're not speaking words outside of who you are. You ain't acting out and making choices and doing things outside of who you are. No. Let him remind you who you are. And it's not, and I talked about that, it's not about being alone. Break that word down. It's about being all one. All one. What he does in his presence is he makes you all one. He makes you all one. Because we're so broken and bifurcated, and I'm like this in this space, and I'm like this and this, and I'm holy with them, and I'm crazy with them, and I drink too much with them, and I sleep with them, and I make out with them, and I lie to them, but I put on my face and my professional with them. He said, you all over the place. Come on, let me make you all one. So when you get alone, it's not a time marked with isolation. It's a time marked with revelation of who God is and who he's called you to be, and let me make it all one. When you get in my presence, I bring you all together. I make you all one. I put you back together again. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. All the king's horses and all the king's men, all the king's horses, all the king's men. You ever wonder why didn't they just call the king? Why didn't they call the king? Why are we fooling around with the king's horses and the king's men? Let's call the king. Can I get a Tamala man witness in here? Take me to the king. I don't have much to bring. Heart is torn to pieces. This is my offering. Come on now. Call the king. Because it is the king who will put you back together again and make you all one in the secret place, in his presence. Let him put you back together again. Some of you are broken. Let him put you back together again. Some of you, you're all over the place and you've made decisions outside of yourself. You got stuck into something outside of yourself. You said yes to something outside of yourself. Some of you in a relationship, they're in a relationship with not you. They're in relationship with the other you. Let him put you back together again. Some of you need to make decisions. You messed around, and while you were in a foreign country and far away from God, you yoked up with some stuff. You hooked up with some stuff, and now God's calling you back, and you're like, what do I do with this stuff? You got to cut it off and let it go so that you might be all one. He wants to put you back together again. Let him put you back together again. Let him put your heart back together again. It's broken. Let him put your mind back together again. It's scattered. Some of you, let him put your life and your relationships back together again, because they're all scattered. The potter wants to put you back together again, away with the king's horses, away with the king's men. Take me to the king. He's the only one that can put me back together again. And this is the thing. He's looking for you. He desires you. He wants to rendezvous with you. So get away. Leave the crowd. Build your secret place. The King of Kings, the Prince of Peace, the Lord of all, desires a sitting with you. So go. Be with the King. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.